The first corporate on our radar is SJVN. The stock has surged more than 286% in the last 1 year. What's going on here? We'll find out the power demand trends, the opportunities in the renewable energy space. Geeta Kapur, the Chairman and Managing Director at SJVN, joins us now to talk about that. Ms. Kapur, thank you so much for joining us. I want to first start by asking you about the tariff trends, especially in the renewable energy space. Can you tell us what are for hydro projects particularly, if we start with that, right? What are the key upcoming projects that are eligible for higher returns? What do you make of the tariffs that have been proposed so far?
Right. If we talk of hydro, see, comparatively, because of the initial cost that is involved in hydro projects, the tariff is a little higher. Per unit, as on date, we can say it's approximately around 8 rupees, whereas as compared to solar, which ranges from 2.50 to 3 rupees. But this is the initial. With the passage of time, the tariff in hydro undergoes a big change. See, the initial investment cost in hydro is more, but as per CERC norms, in a period of about 12 years, the original, once the repayment of loan is over, the tariff gets reduced. Because see, tariff is determined in terms of 5 things. It's return on equity, it's interest on loan capital. So once the loan is repaid, interest reduces. We have depreciation, we have interest on working capital, and the operation and maintenance expenses. For example, I would like to tell you that when NGHPS, our 1500 megawatt Nathpa Jakri hydro power station started commercial operation, the tariff was more than 4 rupees per unit. As on date, the tariff has reduced to 2 rupees 40 paisa. And it happens with all the hydro projects. As of today, our hydropower station, that is Rampur, the tariff is around 4 rupees, a little more than 4 rupees 16 paisa. But after 12 years, this will reduce to 3 rupees. So what happens in hydro is, starting tariff is higher because of the initial investment cost, but with the passage of time, it reduces.
Okay, that's very helpful actually. So you said right now it's 8 rupees per unit on an average, right? The hydropower tariff.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So I want to also understand what are the key projects that are eligible for higher returns? What are the upcoming projects that you have in the hydro space?
Okay, in the hydro space specifically, if we talk of, we are building a project that is Arun 3 in Nepal. This is 900 megawatt, and we propose to commission it by the end of financial year 24-25, that is in February 25. It is 900 megawatt, and which adds around 1,200 crores to our revenue once it is commissioned. So this is one project which is coming up in the year 24-25. In the year 25-26, we propose to add another 276 megawatt. That is Luri Hydro Project, 210. And then we have Dhalasat, 66 megawatt. So in both the cases, again, you can say that we have a good sum to add to our revenue, more than 1,000 crores. So on an average, in the coming 2 years, we will add a capacity of 900 plus 276 in hydro.
Okay, all right. Hi, Mr. Kapur, Ms. Kapur, and good morning. Thanks so much for joining in. So if you could just give us a brief idea, what is the current hydro capacity that you have? You've told us, I think, close to around 1,100 megawatt is what you're going to be adding in the next 2 years in hydro. What is the current hydro capacity, and how do you see it scaling up in the next few years? And also on the non-hydro side, what is the current capacity, Ms. Kapur? And where do you see that number headed?
Right. See, as on date, our total commissioned projects capacity is 2,377. The major chunk goes to hydro. That is 1,972 megawatt. It's hydro. And we have 404 renewable projects as of today, right? Now, with the passage of time, we propose to add, as far as hydro, as I already told you, 900 megawatt in the coming year 24-25. But in renewable sector, we propose to add around 2,000 megawatt in the coming year. One of our major project, that is a single location largest solar project, Bikaner project, 1,000 megawatt, we propose to commission towards September end or October. So this adds 1,000 megawatt to our installed capacity, 900 on account of Arun 3, and several small projects. So a total of about 2,900 we will add in terms of megawatt, both hydro and solar, in the coming year, 24-25. Beyond that, we propose to add approximately 1,500 megawatt to 2,000 megawatt in renewable sector every year, and that we see up to 2030. And in hydro sector, I'm very happy to share that SJVN has started its work on the 3,097 megawatt Italian project in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. SJVN is also working on Sunni hydro project, which is 382 megawatt, and we propose to commission it, say, towards the beginning of the year 28 or 27 end. So,
right. Ms. Kapur, you've given us a fair idea about the capacity addition, and you have ambitious plans both on the hydro and more importantly on the renewable side of things as well. At some scale, the non-hydro part of the business, will you look at unlocking some value, maybe getting an investor, maybe splitting both the two businesses?
What we see for ourselves is we envision by the year 2030 an installed capacity of around 15,000 in renewables, a good 8,000 in hydro, and a small approximately 2,000 in thermal. So we all our verticals, we are moving ahead in all our verticals at equal speed, especially hydro and renewables. And renewables, you see, it's in line with Government of India initiatives also. As per Government of India vision, it is planned that by the year 2030, we'll have 5 lakh of solar. 5 lakh megawatt of solar installed capacity.
Sorry, you said 15,000 megawatt is the total renewable capacity, ma'am, right? By 2030 is the aim.
2030, which we propose to implement, we envision to implement.
So that's about 5 times from where you are right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, ma'am, could you, just a few points, how much of the capacity of the commission, nearly 3,000 megawatt capacity, the agreements are all long-term power purchase agreements, and how much do you sell in the short-term market as well?
In many cases, the agreements are in place. For example, I mentioned to you my Bikaner plant. We have 1,000 megawatt. 500 megawatt already stands committed to Rajasthan Urja Vikas Nigam and IT Services Limited. 300 stands committed to JKPCL, that is Jammu and Kashmir Power Corporation Limited, and 200 stands committed to UPCL, that is the state of Uttarakhand. So a lot of power projects, especially the solar power projects which are coming in solar parks, stand committed to the respective states. For example, we have about 900 megawatt capacity to be implemented in Khavda Solar Park, Gujarat. This we have got through Gujarat Urja Vikas Nigam Limited, and the capacity is committed. Yeah.
Roughly, ma'am, I mean, so broadly, what were, as of now, how much is long-term power purchase and how much is untied capacity? And if you can tell us, if you get to this, I mean, what's the broad aim? You'd like to have some free capacity as well, right? Untied capacity as well.
Yeah. See, our effort is to sign long-term PPAs. Generally, a PPA is for 25 years. Wherever we have committed, generally the PPA is for 25 years. First effort is always that we get a commitment for our power sale. But there are times when we do sale in the exchange also. For example, as on date, our Netwar Mori project, 60 megawatt, the energy is being sold through the exchange. So both side by side, but first effort is to get into a long-term PPA for 25 years.
Okay. What kind of earnings growth can we expect, ma'am? I mean, on a steady state basis, you've got very steady capacity expansion plans over the next many years, and you've laid out some of that vision. But in terms of earnings growth, what should investors expect on a compounded basis for the next few years?
As of today, exactly, for the year 24-25, I can tell you that we'll be adding around 2,700 crores in our revenue. With the present projects in hand, another 1,000 to 1,500 crore we will add in the year 25-26. And so you can say around this, we'll be adding every year. Because if we are talking of implementing 2,000 megawatt in renewables and the tariff ranges from 250 to 3 rupees. So every year we end up adding 2,000, 2,500 crores to our revenue stream.
Okay. Ms. Kapur, just before we let you go, I just wanted an update very quickly on this Arun 2 and the Buxar project. Are they on track to be commissioned in February 2025 and September 2024? Any commissioning delays that we should expect there?
As far as Arun, it is Arun 3 basically. Arun 3 we propose to commission by February 2025, as I had already shared. Even in Buxar, we are on schedule, and hopefully the first lighting of the boiler will go to September 24 this year.
Okay, all right. We'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure listening to you and so much to learn as well about the sector as well as your company. So hopefully we'll get to speak to you again very soon. That's SJVN, one of the strongest stocks in the last 1 year. And, that's Geeta Kapur talking about the demand trends in this space.